Well, thank you everybody for coming out tonight. A few things to go over. Number one, for those that came to last month's ride at Hardware Ranch, thank you. Hope you all had a good time and hope you all got the mud cleaned off your machines.
Oh, I was clean.
Yeah. Little miss don't show up. No, it was a good ride, good turnout. Very good turnout considering the weather. For those that weren't there, it was pretty rainy in the morning. Started out pretty wet and cold for about the first 2 hours, but after that the clouds cleared off and the sun come out, turned into a really nice day. But yeah, it was a mud fest. So
no dust that way. No dust.
Dust or mud, take your pick. Also, thank you for those that showed up and participated in the Steel Strong Ride. I don't know if any of you got to see it on At Your Leisure over the weekend. It was very cool. We had a really good turnout. Even if another group did try to hijack it from us, we still had a really good turnout, and ended up, we kind of joined groups later on and went up to another little gal that's been fighting cancer, and they did a drive-by on her house. So it was pretty cool, a really good night. We did have Unified Police SWAT and West Valley Police SWAT with us, which was really cool. So thank you for those that came out to support that. It was greatly appreciated. How many are planning on being in Ticabo? Cool. Is there anybody that wants to go and doesn't have room? Because I got one room available right now at Ticabo. So if nobody claimed, I'll try to put it on Facebook tonight, but if nobody claims it by tomorrow morning, I'll have to cancel it, or we'll be charged for it. So Friday's ride, we will need to leave the parking lot at the hotel at 8 o'clock in the morning. We have to trailer, and we'll trailer to the same location for both days. So it's about a 30-mile drive to the staging area. I want to be unloaded and ready to be on the trail by 9 o'clock. Mileage at this point is kind of uncertain as to exactly how many miles we're going to do. I can tell you we'll do at least probably 75 to 80 miles. We could be just slightly over 100. It depends if we are able to make it all the way out to the end of Buckacre Point, but I know the one route we can't make because there's one section there where you're right on a ledge, and Ty did it here a week ago in a 60-inch machine, and he was right up against the wall and one tire right on the outside edge. So I know a 72-inch machine ain't going to make it. There is a loop on the other side, but literally nobody has been up on this thing for 10 years. So the trails up on top are kind of blown in with sand. There's some places where it's really deep sand and that. So I want to try to make it around to Buckacre Point, but it just depends on how this other route turns out. There's one spot, looking at it on Google Earth, that's very similar to what Ty and Kickstart have found, where you're right against the outside edge, and if that's washed out at all, I won't even think about it. I won't take that chance. So, but you can figure on at least 75 to 80 miles on Friday. again, possibly 100, maybe 110 if we able to make it all the way out. Saturday's ride, again, we'll stage at the same location, and we'll go up into the Henry Mountains up there and make a loop up in the Henrys. So that one, I wouldn't think we're going to be more than 60 to 70 miles at the most. As far as food goes, I did try to set up a dinner and lunches and stuff like we did last year, but their staffing is a little messed up this year, so they don't have the staffing to do the lunches and breakfast for us. The Offshore Marina and Grill, which is just down the road from the hotel, they are open till 9, so they're open for dinner. Saturday night, the club will do the barbecue hamburgers and hot dogs, so there at the motel. But so Friday night, you'll need to do dinner on your own. You'll need to bring lunches. They don't open till like 8. They don't open till 8 o'clock in the morning, so there's no way we can get breakfast. So if you need something for breakfast, bring it with you. The rooms have mini fridges, microwave, so be prepared. If you have large coolers, you may want to fill them with ice, because ice is a premium down there. It's like $4 a bag for ice down there. And the hotel room has an ice machine. It's a quarter. It's a quarter for a thing of ice. So if you may want to bring some extra ice with you if you have an available cooler. Both days should be a really good ride. We did part of the ride we're doing Friday up on top of Big Ridge. We accessed through Poison Springs, which we did last year. So you will have done part of this ride, but it's well worth repeating to be able to get up on top and see the views from up on top. It's pretty spectacular up there. And if we have time, I do have coordinates to find the signature that I was looking for last year, but I will only do that on the way out if we have time. I don't want to bog us down going in. We won't make a lot of stops going in, just because I want to cover the ground. I'll probably, once we start in, I'll probably stop at the river crossing, and the river crossing isn't going to be nearly what it was last year. It's probably hill. Yeah. We just went dead, Kyle. Anyway, the river crossing is probably only about 10 inches deep, so it's not up to the top of the racks on the four-wheelers like it was last year. So, Michael, you'll be able to cross it this year.
Steve, what about the weather up on top of the mountain we were talking about at the side?
I would plan on a life jacket at least. In the mornings down there, it's probably going to be low to mid 50s in the morning. But when we get up, especially Saturday, when we get up on the Henrys, you're probably going to be up around 10,000 feet. So you can figure it's going to be a little bit cool. You know what the elevation was on Big Ridge, Ty?
I don't remember. On top of it,
I wouldn't think it's more than 8,000 feet, so it should still be fairly warm there. And it's supposed to be mid to upper 70s, this weekend, so it should be good. Like I said, plan on cool weather in the morning both days when you leave. But it'll warm up in a hurry. So, but yeah, for Saturday, plan on a jacket, needing a jacket up top, because if we get up that high, it will cool down. So better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, that type of thing. Anybody have any other questions?
Are we seeing the new trail system that you mentioned that's been closed for 10, 12 years?
That's going up on top. Yeah, we'll be doing that going up on top of Big Ridge. It's called the Simplot Dugout. Is where the landslide was. It's had that access closed for 10 or 12 years. I can't remember. It's been a long time. 11 years maybe. But it's been so. But yeah, they've got that all opened up. We'll be going up that way. There is another way in, but we can't legally do it at this point because you have to come through Glen Canyon Recreation Area. It's called, is it Happy Canyon? No, it's not Happy Canyon. It's, oh God, I can't remember. Anyway, there is a way that comes in that you, even as a street legal ATV or side-by-side, right now we're not allowed in that section because I think it's Glen Canyon and I think part of it's actually Canyonlands is there. So because of that we can't access it, but we're working on that. Because there's another trail that drops down. It's North Hatch, I believe. North Hatch or South Hatch, I can't remember. That will, but it's in Glen Canyon Recreation Area. So we are working on trying to get some things taken care of to where we have that access, but it's not something that's going to happen right away. So,
Fuel, Steve.
If you like a particular fuel, if you like ethanol free and that, I would recommend you take it with you because I don't think they have any ethanol free down there. You know, for the Friday ride, you know, definitely if you're on an ATV, I'm going to recommend you have some extra fuel. But even the side-by-sides, it wouldn't hurt to have an extra gallon because, like I said, there are some sandy sections and you're going to be some four-wheel drive areas and that, so you may burn a little more fuel than normal. So it wouldn't hurt. I always have 3 gallons extra with me.
What about Saturday right now?
Huh?
Fuel for Saturday.
And yeah, if you need extra, like that's why I say if you like a particular fuel for your machine, I would recommend you take it with you. There is the offshore marina that's just down the road where you can get fuel, but I guarantee it's going to be about $4.50 a gallon. Everything down there is pricey, everything. But again, if you require a certain octane, I would take it with you just to be sure, because they may have it, they may not. Any other?
How's the registration deal working? How's that going to work out for the hotel?
Okay, I've turned in the list to the hotel. Just when you get there, give them your name. They already have, and you know, you'll just check in like you normally would.
Okay.
So, any other question?
What time can we check?
I'll find out and put it on the. Most places are like 1 o'clock. Most hotels are 1 o'clock, and I'm going to assume that that's what they are. But I'll check and put it on the Facebook page just to be sure.
Do I have complimentary coffee again? Complimentary coffee in the morning?
Yeah, they do have coffee there in the main lobby area and that. So
staging area parking really ample? Is it just a big wide open space? Or the staging area parking?
There's plenty of area to for the staging area. It's an area they call it Little Egypt. It's huge. There's plenty of area there. We can, if we need to, we can move. One thing we may have run into actually down there, the deer hunt will be opening up this weekend, and they do have some deer hunts on that Henry's Mountain unit, so we may run into some deer hunters, and we may have to kind of adjust things a little bit as far as our staging. But if we all leave out as a group Friday morning, nobody will get lost. We'll have it all figured out. But it's right off the highway. It's between, I believe, between mile marker 21 and 22 on Highway 95 as you go south from Hanksville. So, but again, it's very accessible. You don't need to be in 4-wheel drive or anything like that. I know we've got the Petersons are going to be camped down there.
There'll be 5 of us, so you'll be able to see us.
I was going to say there'll probably be a few other people. I know there's 1 or 2 other people that were talked about camping there too. So
if you don't see our camp mobile home, you'll know that we're in the wrong spot, which find us.
So in other words, it's south of Hanksville, north of Pete.
Yeah.
Which side of the road?
The left-hand side.
it's on as you're leaving Hanksville going towards Ticabo, it'll be on the right-hand side.
On the west side.
It's the right-hand side, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're-
drop off the
It drops down. And it's, you'll probably actually see a sign that says Poison Springs, but keep going past that, because it's about 1.5 miles or so past that. And then it'll be, because then the road straightens out, because you kind of come around, there's a bend, and then the road will straighten out and it opens up right there, and you'll see off that side.
So it's not at the Poison Springs sign?
Huh?
It's not at the Poison Springs sign?
No, you'll go past the Poison
5
Springs.
mile past?
Yeah, like I said, I believe it's between 21 and 22.
Okay.
So
Just won't find out. You know, if you have
you'll recognize it when you get down there. You were there last year, weren't you?
Yep, that's why they drop off the side of the
Yeah.
road, and it's a big
Yeah.
park for miles.
So, and like I said, it's a huge area, so parking really shouldn't be an issue there. So, any other questions, comments? So, which brings me to the next topic. Next month's ride is supposed to be Moab. How many people are planning on doing Moab? Okay. I just wanted to check and make sure there was some talk about changing it just because of a situation that I have, but we'll make it work. I know a lot of, I know a lot of people were very disappointed when we canceled it in May or in March, and so that's why we rescheduled it. The one thing I am planning on doing, rather than staying in trailers down there, we're going to stay in hotels, because that way it will open up our options as far as what trails we can ride. We don't have to camp in an area and only be able to do those trails. We can do this trail and then the next day trailer to another area and do that. So I will get that put on the Facebook page here as soon as I can.
What's the dates for that? Usually,
I believe it's November 12th and 13th,
14.
or 13th and 14th. Sorry. Yeah, it'll be the 13th and 14th.
Do you know what trails you're gonna ride?
I'll look it over and make sure. I know one of the ones I kind of want to do, just because I seen something pretty cool about it, is Chicken Corners. Apparently there's some caves down there. I actually seen this on Facebook. I've never been on it, so I'm not going to be the ultimate guide of Moab because I've not been there a lot. But one of the other ones I was looking at was Gemini Bridges, doing that one day, and then the Chicken Corners ride another day. And I'll see, what's available that we can throw in. I don't plan on doing anything extreme, because we're just not that group. We might have one or two that are more capable of doing it, but I don't want to, as a group, I don't plan on doing something like that. So,
Don't do still better then.
huh?
So don't do still better then.
No, I looked at maybe, like I said, Gemini Bridges, maybe Metal Masher. That's not.
That's almost as bad as still better.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some things, we'll just I'll play it by ear and look it over. Like I said, I'm not the ultimate guide for Moab. I know a little bit and,
Not
try
to
to.
get in trouble.
Oh hell, it don't take me much to get in trouble. Getting up in the morning usually accomplishes that. So yeah, I'll get that put together and we'll get the plans made for it. We actually had a board meeting last night, so one of the issues we've been talking about for a couple months and was questioning is the viability of doing a Christmas party this year. There's been a lot of talk about Salt Lake County going back to orange, which would really, right now as it is, we're restricted to 50 groups of 50 people. So who, raise the hands, would plan on attending a Christmas party if we can pull it off? Okay. We'll continue to look into it and play it by ear. We probably won't get anything planned until after our November board meeting, just to be sure, so we can see what. One of the things we're looking at is just getting the use of a private place and having it catered. I don't think doing it at a restaurant this year is going to work in any way, shape, or form for us. So, and we need to look into it, because I know private groups are kind of different than if we do it in a public place. So, we'll look at it and we'll see what we can do about doing the Christmas party. I know a lot of people are like kind of standoffish about something like that, and I understand. I get it. So, but looks like there's enough interest in it that we will continue to plan and work through it. Okay. We've had some discussions here recently about what is and isn't appropriate content for the Facebook page. And this was brought up by a gal that had posted a lost pet thing on our Facebook page. Well, we've always had the stance that if it is not ATV, UTV related, that we kept that content off from our page. And, you know, we had a person tell us that we weren't animal lovers, which is as far from the truth as you could possibly get. Every single one of us on the board has at least one, if not several, animals. On my own personal page, if I see, you know, one of my friends or somebody that's posted a lost pet, you know what, I share it. That's where it should be done, is on your own personal page. We've watched other pages, and I won't mention them by name, but we've watched how they allowed those kinds of things onto their page, and it's turned into a shit show, to put it bluntly. And now they're trying to rein everything back in because it's gotten so out of control with posts that don't pertain to the subject of the Facebook page whatsoever. And they're trying to rein it back in, and it's good luck is all I can say, because they let that freight train go out of control for too long. So yeah, we discussed it at the board meeting, and we voted as a board to keep it that way, as, you know, offer, you know, ATV side by side related subject only, you know. And again, you know, people want to post stuff for sale. If you are a paid club member and you have ATV or UTV related items that you want to sell, you're welcome to sell them on our club page. You're welcome to post it. If you're not a club member, we don't allow it. Again, we don't want to turn it into the KSL classifieds, where that's all you see. You've got to scroll down for half an hour to find something other than a for sale ad. It's just not, you know, if somebody's selling a camp trailer, well, if you can find a way to make that related, that it's got a second hitch so you can tow your ATVs behind it, you know, something to that effect.
That's what KSL is.
Exactly. You know, there's so many other pages. There's probably 50 lost pet pages, lost and found pages, trailer classifieds, all over the place on Facebook. So the bottom line is we have the Facebook page to keep people informed of this, of what we do. We don't, you know, we made it, we are apolitical. We don't support or endorse a candidate on our page. We don't, you know, if there is a ATV, UTV related topic, we will post that there because that's the information that we should have. We won't tell you how or what you should feel about it. We might make recommendations that if you feel strongly in support of this, then you need to, or if you feel strongly against it. But it's ultimately, it's your choice, and it's not up to us to tell you what you should think about that subject. You know, we'll give you, our job is to give you as much information about it that you can make that informed decision, because that's ultimately what we want, is informed decisions. You know, we see it so many times where something's put out and you're only getting half of the information, and so you start getting riled up and thinking, you know, you're mad over this thing. Then you get the other half of the information. It's like, well, right, maybe that's actually in our best favor. So ultimately, that's, if we ever post anything political, it's going to be something about a bill that's going through the legislature that's going to affect us in either a positive or negative way. And then at that point, it's your choice of how you approach that. And I think, you know, I think most people are fully in support of that. I've got on there and made posts, and most people are like, yeah, because again, they've seen what's happened on a couple of these other pages, and it just, we had a post. Jim Prairie put a post on. Guy breaks down in the middle of the trail and leaves his side by side in the middle of the trail. There's no way around it. He was like, come on, people, make a, it's kind of foolish. And it turned into a circus. It's like, my God, people, he's just posting it. It's common sense. If you break down in the middle of the trail, push it, drag it, whatever you have to do to get it off to the side so people can get around you. If you're on a one-way in, one-way out trail and somebody does that, you might be screwed. Or in this case, it was a long ways back around and he was damn near out of fuel. So it's, it was a public, thing but it blew up, and so we yanked it. We pulled it. And we will do that from time to time. If a post starts getting too many negative comments or too many people getting disrespectful, we'll make a choice of either shutting off the comments or just pulling the post altogether. If we pull it, don't take offense to it. It's nothing to do with you. It's just how it's being perceived, and it's better at that point just to remove it than to turn it into a big argument. So, anybody?
Are all of the people that post or comment, are they members or
No.
stuff just random?
No, we have a couple thousand followers.
Yeah, unless you agree to the page rules, you can't post. You can read if we've allowed you in, but you can't post.
But not everybody that is a member of the page is a paid member of the club. We have a lot of people that follow us. We've got, I think last time we were over 2,000 people or something that follow us, but so the majority are people that are just looking for information.
I think what we want is we want our Facebook page to be friendly, and if people ask a question, they would like an answer. They don't want some smart ass remark or to be ridiculed because they don't know something and they're actually asking a question.
Yeah, I see that happen so many times on the other page. Somebody will throw out a question, and the first person that answers, it's a smart ass answer. This person has a problem they're trying to get figured out. Why do you feel the need to be an ass right off the get-go? Be constructive, be considerate. People are asking a question because they don't know where to ride, there's something wrong with the machine. Be considerate of them. They're looking for help, and that's what we should be, is their help.
We don't want to be known as the a-hole group or anything like that. We want to be known as the nice ones.
Yeah, there's enough of those out there. We don't, so. Any other comments about the page or anything? Do we have any more nominations tonight for?
I nominate Sue Buckaloo for board. I'll second.
Who?
Sue Buckaloo.
Sue? Okay.
I nominate Lance Davis for the board.
I'll second. Lance Davis.
That's me.
He's the wolf.
It's a dog.
Oh, okay. It's like a wolf.
Any other nominations? Board? President? I know there's nobody else out there that's stupid.
You're president for life.
President.
No, you don't. You just think I'm dumb.
Steve, can I make a comment about Wikipedia state?
A couple weeks ago, I went and attended the class to be a trail host. I had an experience 2 weeks ago there. I was there camped at Little Deer Creek at the Wasatch Park the night that the individual rode his side-by-side down the mountain. Now, I probably ought to talk to Mike about it, because I called in to the ranger station and told them that I was there and doing the host for 2 days. However, when the individual rode his, we suspect it happened that night, but I didn't hear anything, didn't see anything, and then in the morning he started coming around and checking things. I think he rode down the Cunningham Road or Pass Parkway or whatever they call it.
Did he come off the top of Pole Line Ridge? Is that where he rolled off of?
A little further towards 85 to the junction.
Okay.
They wouldn't let me go any closer, and I really, frankly, for the family, I feel for them to lose a family member like they did. But the point I wanted to say is that we need to really be careful. I went up and shot pictures at sunset and looked around and everything else, and I didn't really turn off the light until about 10 o'clock. So sometimes between 10 o'clock p.m. and 7 o'clock is when you roll. He was hunting there, and there were a lot of hunters that were on their ATVs and what have you. But the point is, we just got to be careful. But that trail host, I could have been there or could have helped him perhaps when he first rolled, or when they knew that afternoon that he was missing. I could have gone down that trail and found him where he rolled.
Who did you talk to when you called?
It's just the receptionist when I called in.
Yeah.
And she didn't know what it was about and what it was for and what a trail host does.
Okay, I will have a talk with Tracy about that, because
And sometimes they only want medical or police
Search and rescue.
responding, so because there's liability issues. So it may have been that they didn't want.
Did they know at that point?
I don't think they knew that I was there. But there was 3 or 4 other people camped in that campsite, but nobody heard or saw anything.
So had he been found when you called in, or were you helping to search for him?
No, I called in about noon on Saturday. He was reported missing about 4 or 5 p.m.
Okay.
But if they would have said something, they had my cell number, and I had a little bit of a cell signal, but no one said anything or no one called in.
Okay. Yeah, we'll work it out.
But I reached out to them and said I was there, but I didn't have really any information to help in the investigation.
Okay.
But I understand what Randy's saying. I don't really want to be there.
Once a person's found, they're gonna, whether we're a trail host or not, they're gonna push us back. But as far as if he had not already been found, yes, they should have reached out. That's what we're there for. So I'll talk and see if I can figure out just exactly what happened there. Maybe their people need to be more informed about what we actually do.
Yeah. I just feel sorry for his family, because maybe he's unable to get better help.
Yeah, tragic thing, but again, it can happen to any of us at any time. That's why I will preach safety over and over and over, because it does happen in the blink of an eye. Especially like hunters and that are driving along, they're looking for animals, drive off the edge, whatever, it happens. So, again, I preach safety first. I personally will cut a ride short before I will put anybody in jeopardy. I just won't do it. If I go do it, that's on me, but I won't put the club or any members in that position. So, so I've been asked that we get our nominees for the presidency, for president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, up here to just introduce yourselves so people know who you are. Get up here. I'm me. And you're a fool to follow me?
Well, you've only gotten lost a few times, you know.
I never got lost. I just took an alternate route to our final destination.
Extended adventures.
Yeah. Just an alternate route to our final destination. I'm not lost.
I know. We'll be good this week.
Don't shoot daggers at me. I didn't do this.
This would be my.
That's what I just said.
So,
I will say I appreciate you and your efforts and your care for the club to actually put forth the effort. So thank you.
Thank you. See? Good sucking up. Good sucking up.
They say he's got something on him.
yeah, before you go with me. So Kyle is up first. Kyle's been nominated for vice
Is everybody
president.
up there that's been nominated?
Just for the presidency. Just for the, we'll do the board. We'll have people stand up for the board here shortly. But so many of you already know that Randy decided that he was not going to run for vice president. And thank you for again. So Kyle has been nominated for vice president.
What's your name, sir?
Who are you? What do you do? I know.
Who are you married to? Where were you born? What kind of machine you ride? Depends on which one's running.
That is not something you want to admit running for presidency.
Joking.
How long have you been a member with the club now?
When was our first right to life? 15
I thought Kyle would answer
So I was trying to remember, 5 years? 5 or 6 years? 5?
Since 2015.
Oh, we've
It's been longer than 5 years.
Part of the club.
6 years club, yeah. Been on the board for 3? 4?
Okay, 4.
4 years on the board.
Been helping with the Facebook page.
Been on the Facebook page, help with the safety team on the Ride for Life.
Ran the Sup for Santa thing.
So Santa last year, helped Laura with everything she needs. I help you when you need things.
Yes.
He brings up the tail end.
And yes, I do like to pick up the
Nope.
tail end.
Okay.
It's your favorite job too.
That's my favorite job. It's
Got
not
4.
necessarily my favorite job, but it's one I've been tasked with multiple times. I like bringing up the rear now also. For those of you that know me, I'm Bill Bagshaw. For those of you that don't, you may know my gorgeous and love of my life, Vicki. If you don't know her, then you probably know my lovely girls, Winter and Summer.
Yes, sir.
Everybody knows the girls. I have not been with the club as long as Kyle, obviously. I've only been here 3 years. I have not served in any capacity on the board. However, some of the members of this club have come to me and asked me to step into the role of vice president, and they've put their trust and faith in me. So, as such, it's necessary for me to step up to that plate and take a swing. So, I'm a cop that's been around 20 years. For those of you that hate me, I'm sorry. I didn't do it. For those of you that love me, thank you very much. I appreciate your support. As a cop, I've been a SWAT team member for 12 years, actually. The reason I point this out is while I was a SWAT team member, I was a sniper for 7 years. Anybody who's done any form of shooting, which anybody in this room has done some form of shooting, you understand the discipline and dedication that's involved in taking on such a task. I put that dedication and discipline into everything I do. I served as a vice president for the FOP, which is essentially police union for my department for several years. Quite a task, a lot of responsibility there. So my skill set is very unique in the way that I view things from a civil liability standpoint. Because of that, I was perusing the website and the Facebook page and stumbled across our old bylaws and found that the club's bylaws were extremely outdated. And without being asked, I took it upon myself to rewrite the club bylaws and bring us into the 20th century. Now, I just drafted them, okay? Your sitting board is the ones that actually read through them, made suggestions, and approved them. But it was a necessary step to ensure that every member of this club is protected when we're out doing the thing that we love doing. I also tackled a project that was kind of personal to me because I asked a question one day and didn't get an answer. And for me, that's frustrating when somebody can't give me an answer. So I asked the question, what are we going to do about club radios? Because we kept bouncing around. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. And so I did the research for this. Once again, just for my own personal need, but I presented that information to the club so that we were actually able to make a decision on a direction to go. So from that, I think that we're all on the same page when it comes to radios.
So I think around radios, we had a bunch of opinions going around, and he happened to be in one of the board meetings where like, go for it. You are an impartial subject that can kind of peel away some of the layers and let us know. And so,
Randy pointed it out very well. I was impartial because I wasn't part of the voting community. I was just there because my wife was on the board, and I presented the information. In my job, that's all I do all day long is present information, and people smarter than me usually sit together and make the decisions. So I'm honored to be nominated for this position. So like I said, I put 100% dedication and discipline into everything I tackle. So that's me. And you can pet my dogs.
Well, Bill has been an invaluable source of legal information. If I have a question, I've always been able to ask him, and he gives me a straight up answer, doesn't sugarcoat it, tells me where my thinking is wrong or my thinking is right, which is very seldom. Bill also is captain of Team Bill.
Yes, he is.
And shortest member. That's how you pick me out. I'm the short one.
Hey, Bill.
Okay, I'm Alyssa Carlson. Been members of the ATV Association. Since 2015. I've been secretary for 3 years. I think 3 years. Also on the Right for Life committee. So we help Laura with whatever she needs us to do.
Which is a lot.
Yeah, Missy, you can be there one day. I don't know what else.
really good at keeping our minutes from board meetings.
Oh, I do the minutes.
Trying to keep track of everybody just spouting off at the same time.
And my trusty notepad.
Yeah, she's been really good about documenting all that and then doing most of the newsletters.
I do the newsletters. I also send out all of your membership cards. I apologize if I'm a little slow at doing that sometimes, but that's what I do.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, a lot of people don't realize the importance of the minutes, but we are a 501c3 nonprofit. If we don't keep an accurate record of our minutes, we could lose that designation. So we always have to. Keeping the minutes is very important. There was something else I was going to say, and my mind just went blank. Keeping the minutes is very crucial.
I'm Karen Summer. I've been the treasurer for the last 2.5 years. And because of our status, my records are very important too.
I have to make sure that I have everything documented and everything taken care of. Alyssa and I work together for membership to get that taken care of, and I have to keep meticulous records, which I do, so that we're not in any danger of losing our status or anything.
And also that
We've been a
protects you
member-
guys'
We've been members
money.
for 6 years.
And protects your membership dues, so you can see what the board's done with them or not.
Thank you. You can go sit back down now. You can go hide in the back like you normally do.
Break on the spot, guys.
You did that just to take the pressure off.
You guys all still gotta send me bios. You're not getting out of it.
So,
Did you record that?
can our board nominees stand up so people can see? I know Lance and Sue.
Get out of here. Yeah, where's John?
Right here, I'm too.
John Fuller. Stand up. Get over here. Stand up. He's parked
He's
there.
taller
Right
than
there.
me. If I can't see him, he's not standing.
And
So
Kathy
you might want to
Hudak.
stand on the chair.
Kathy Hudak has been nominated. She is not with us tonight. And Corey Skinner, I believe.
Yeah, Corey Skinner, Craig Dixon.
Craig Dixon, yeah. And they aren't with us tonight. Next month will be the election. And it is, if you're a single member, it's 1 vote. If you're a family, you get 2 votes. You will be voting for 7 board members. And then president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. You must be a paid member. So, one thing, another thing we discussed at the board meeting last night. Last year we did a sub for Santa for the senior home, and we are looking to do that again this year. We're reaching out to the center to make sure what kind of restrictions we may have. I know we're not going to be able to go inside like we did last year and meet with the people, but for those of you that are new, who weren't part of it, we got a list of names of the people there, and they gave us a list of some of the items that they would like to have, and each person was able to pick a name, or if you wanted to just throw 10 or 20 bucks into the pot and have the board purchased. But we did that for the seniors up there. A lot of these people, they have no families. They're on their own. They don't have anybody come visit them, and it was a really cool experience to go up and be with them last year and take the stuff to them. And it was really neat. They were really, so we want to do it again, but we are again reaching out to see what kind of restrictions, if it's better for us just to donate money to somebody from the center to purchase the items, whatever. But so we will be planning on that. We'll have more information on that at the board or the next club meeting. So, do we have a room raffle?
And I forgot to mention, when you sign the roll, please make it legible, because I put everybody's name in the hat for the 2 attendance drawings that we have every year. And if I can't read your writing, I can't put you in spots.
Twice a year we draw out a name for 50. Every time you come into a meeting, your name gets put into a pot. So if you attend all 6 meetings in the first half of the year, you'll get 6 chances of winning the $50. It's kind of a reward to get people to show up to the meetings. So we do that twice a year. So yes, write legibly if you can.
That just means less people to pick from.
Huh?
That just means less people to pick from.
Okay, our room raffle number. The winner is 821816. $821,816. Hey, Steve Russell.
There you go.
And did we get a ride raffle?
Yes, we have to go through it.
Okay. We do have the ride raffle that we'll be giving away for the ride this weekend.
Probably a dinner when we do the.
Yeah, we'll give it away when we do the dinner Saturday night. I have tickets, so if you want to purchase more tickets. So, well, thank you all for coming out tonight. I don't believe we don't have anybody new here tonight, do we? No, he's not new. I recognize that ugly mug. No, I think everybody here tonight has been here. Thanks everybody for coming out. Look forward to seeing you all down in Ticabo. Drive safe, be careful, and Friday morning we will meet in the parking lot at 8 o'clock. Be ready to go at 8.
Is there any special place we're going to be parking at?